Joe knows he married up.
He
knows
Totally
he
outkicked.
respect it.
As we say, as we often say, we outkick the coverage. We hit above our limit.
All right, you're on.
Are we ready? Okay, well, welcome, everyone. Calling to order this meeting of January 8th of the Village Board of Trustees. It's a little after 7 o'clock. We're a few minutes late. I apologize to those of you on the internet who are watching, that we're a little late to get to here, but I thank everybody who's here live for their patience. Let us please start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to let you all know we just completed a meeting of the Nyack Parking Authority, which is the same board as the Village Board, and we made some policy changes, some of which will be articulated in resolutions that need to be passed by the Village Board. Otherwise, we will summarize anything else that we talked about at the Parking Authority meeting later on under new business. As a general matter, we have a relatively straightforward meeting today. We have a public hearing on an issue that's not going to be particularly controversial. It's putting a sunset clause on the exception to the leaf blower ban that we passed last October, I believe. And we have a bunch of resolutions that are fairly straightforward. I did want to make a couple of remarks. One is I want to make a public thank you to Sam Wedelich, who's a local artist and author who worked with me on and really was the principal drafter of our new Nyack shopping and dining map and directory that was released today in a special newsletter that went out, and we put it up on the internet and sent out some Facebook messages. But it's a really nifty, cool looking map that shows the 5 business districts that we identified in Nyack. And then in the directory, it lists all the businesses color coded to the geography where they are and with their addresses, but also organized by categories. So the restaurants are together and the clothing stores are together and things like that. And we're hoping that it really be helpful for people who are living here to find the right business that they're looking for, as well as people who visit the village to find their way around. And I'm very grateful to Sam for her hard work on it. She did a wonderful job. It's a beautiful map. It's very, very Nyack. It's a lot of personality to it and whatnot. I want to welcome everybody New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. We haven't met since our reorganization meeting about 5 weeks ago, where we took our oaths of office and things like that. So I hope everybody had a good holiday period. We're happy to be back and glad to be with you. I did want to mention we had someone pass this week, a gentleman by the name of Frank Mancione, who's a longtime Nyack and Upper Nyack resident, a longtime realtor. I worked with him in my business for many years. And in the last few years, he worked at Lydecker Realty and also for a long time owned a store down in Sobro. He was a lovely man. We're going to miss him. He passed away in his sleep on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. And I'd like to make sure we adjourn the meeting in his honor today at the end of the meeting. And I believe you can find online, you can find the information on his services, which will be, I think, coming up. Anybody have any comments from any of the Village Board trustees?
Yeah, just a few. Just one comment. One, Happy New Year as well. It's interesting start to the new year. I have seen some chatter a little bit, and I've heard it, just kind of anecdotally when I'm talking to people about the benches in Nyack. So I think maybe at some time this year, maybe we want to reconsider how to resolve this issue, either bringing them back or partially bringing them back. I just know it's something that I think a few folks have felt a little strongly about. So I do just want to acknowledge that concern and sort of start to consider where we go from here in terms of the square in general and other places where we've had benches before.
It's a good point.
Yeah, and just another thing in terms of losses, I know it's been a lot in the news lately about what happened in Minnesota. So I do just want everyone to sort of take care of each other, take care of our neighborhood and our community. We all live here. I know I love living here. I grew up here, so I just want to, center this year around being part of NIAC and what we can do to improve this place and what we can do to take care of each other a lot better. So that's it.
Thank you. Well said. She's making all these wonderful points about caring for each other, and I'm talking about a map, so.
Well, that's
Really,
caring
the deputy mayor really put things in perspective for us.
I will say, even to your point, that is about caring for our community. We put
Yes,
this map of
that's
Wayfinder
fine, yeah.
together.
No, I think,
Continue the good work on tourism and supporting our businesses. That's all a part of caring for our community.
I will say what happened in Minnesota is shocking, and well, unfortunately, it's not that shocking, but it really is appalling. And let's when we adjourn, let's adjourn for Frank, and we'll also adjourn for the woman who lost her life in that.
Renee Good.
Yeah, and let's because that was and I know that you're hearing people talk about what happened. It's like, well, we literally can see the video. We can see exactly what happened. What you're describing is not what happened. What happened was she got shot, and it really was a very sad situation, tragic situation. So thank you for raising it, because it's not a local issue, but I think it speaks to this kind of the national mood right now and what we're all going through. All right, anybody else have any comments? All right, I will open up for public comments on any topic. If you have a public comment on an issue that's on the agenda, you can wait till that moment in the agenda and then speak to that. So you're on the, so it's coming when we're talking about it. But if you have any comments on not on the agenda, please come up and talk about it.
This is not an agenda item. How is everyone?
Okay, good evening. Good evening.
But
I think it's on. Is it on? It's on now.
Can we
Got it.
remove?
Okay.
I guess we give it
Get a
a.
little closer.
Needs to warm up.
So on behalf of the village, I attended the Orange and Rockland second annual e-mobility award ceremony.
Oh.
So the village was awarded the Municipal Electrification Leadership Award by Orange and Rockland, which recognizes a municipality that has demonstrated exceptional commitment to sustainable transportation by installing the highest number of EV chargers within their municipality. So, I just wanted to, Andy had suggested.
Oh my gosh, it's an.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. It could hold down a lot of people.
Yeah, on a windy day, on a very windy day.
No question about that. But I also thought I'd take a moment and share a little bit of an update on the EV chargers, the initiatives, some of the results. Since the installation of the chargers were done and funded through grants, all the proceeds go directly to the village. Less, of course, the electrical charges, which we still have to pay for. But the marina was brought online in August of 2024, and veterans in December of 2024. And from their inception through December, we've had 3,300 charging sessions, and it's generated more than $21,000.
Wow.
So I look back in my notes, we started the process in July of 2022. And I really wanted to recognize, the trustees for backing the initiative, and also Andy and Jonathan for their efforts. It was a bit touch and go there, because the initial thought of how much electricity was available and how that would be installed didn't materialize once we started digging things up. So that happens sometimes with construction, but it was because of their tenacity that they actually got installed, and I really appreciate that. Next steps, there's actually an Orange and Rockland Smart Charge program, which residents and the village or commercial entities can participate in. If you charge your electric vehicles either overnight for residences or off-peak, you get rebates. And I've participated in it for about 6 months now, and I've gotten about $300-400 in rebates.
Just by recharging overnight, that's supposed to.
I set my car to charge, I plug it in, it doesn't charge until 12 at night, and if it finishes by 8 in the morning, I get like 7 cents per kilowatt hour, plus all these different incentives.
But this
after-
is having your own personal one in your driveway, right?
That's right.
Right, okay.
So they have a commercial program, and that commercial program, the village could participate in. And if we can promote charging during off-peak hours on our charging stations, then we can get a rebate. If the resident can get a rebate, and we can get a rebate.
So we get a rebate for our chargers,
That's right.
not the person charging, but
For our
us.
vehicles.
For our vehicles and residents who charge on our charge.
If they charge overnight, 12 AM to 8 AM.
For the commercial, it's based on where the peaks are. It's a little
Okay.
different. So you wanna it's because there's commercial entities and their peaks might be different
Okay.
from a residential peak. It's part of the
But
program.
there is a period of time
There's a
where we
period of
can
time.
encourage people to park,
Exactly.
to do their charging, there we get some money.
You said
Have
the,
a-
oh,
Go ahead.
You said the residents also get a rebate for using our chargers, or is that for their home?
They could,
Oh.
so the software that they use, if the vehicle is accepted or there's compatibility with the program,
Mhm.
then the vehicle reports back to the smart charge program, and so they get a rebate.
Oh, nice.
And then if they're charging during our time frame, we get the rebate also. So we could sort of double dip on
Yeah.
the same time period.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Did you finish your sentence? I
I
don't
did.
want to interrupt. Okay, so my question is, so there's only 15 units where I live, the condos. So if we were to think about getting like 2 of those in, like we could participate in that program and have the same sort of thing?
yes,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, so for an apartment complex, I'm not sure whether that would be considered commercial or residential, but whatever it is, they'll determine what the time period is, and then if you charge during that time period, you'll be eligible for the rebate.
We have to start the charging during the period and end it during the period. That's
Yeah.
the key.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm not doing that, because I just plug it in when I get home.
So you
But you're
could,
saying I should plug it in, but also set it to charge at 12 AM, yeah.
yeah, you could schedule the charging for the car, and I'll give you the code, because anybody who signs up with my code. I get
You get it.
Yeah, send me the code. And you get a-
Yeah, let's put that code right online. Let's say it out loud now to all the people on the internet.
so can I speak to you further about that?
Of course.
Some point.
That's wonderful. That's a great program. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, that
And I
is-
did the math on your
Respect the
numbers,
hustle, Steve.
with 3,300 charging sessions, and it was over 2 chargers being active for a year and 1 for an additional half year.
Yes,
And so it's about 4 charges a day that we're getting on the chargers, which is, we could probably be doing more than that, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, for considering that they weren't, people really did doubt them because they were broken for so long that they didn't really know that they were operational. So let's make a note to get in the newsletter that we put these numbers out there and remind people to use the chargers, because there's a lot of people that live in apartment buildings that have electric cars that need to.
Yeah,
yeah, so Andy's been great, he changed the signage there because normally you can't
That
park
is-
overnight. But in
In the spots you
the
can.
EV chargers, you can park overnight, and we wanna kind of promote people using it overnight. Because the rates are cheaper, we set up the pricing schedule so that evening charging will be less expensive, so it promotes people using it during off hours, and it gives the renters an opportunity to park there overnight, not have to be worried about.
They give them a free parking spot overnight. If
Yeah.
They're just charging that, it's good. It's good, smart.
Yeah, so that's where we are.
Good, well done. Are we still looking for other spaces for more chargers? Couldn't find any space. We had trouble.
No, we were on the road to do something with fast charging, and Orange and Rockland's program was fully subscribed. Until they re-up some grant money, we are kind of on hold.
These are for level 3s. If we
Yeah.
get some level 3s on it.
All right, I'll leave this.
Yep.
2 things. One is that Steve C is an absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, we need more
Yeah,
applause. More
yeah.
people need applause for that.
Unbelievable partner. for me, for the village.
Sustainability, all of
it's a
that.
Wonderful example of the kind of talent Nyack has kind of stepping up to work on municipal issues. It's really amazing.
That's why not.
So-
Someone better than me said, takes a village,
Yep.
right?
That's-
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Second, I just want to say that one of the most traumatizing things that happened to me so far working here has to do with those chargers. And that was the day when, when they finally figured out where to connect the ones that the veterans left behind his space, which was enough of a journey itself. Then they were gonna go to do it, and they said, and O&R said, Andy, we're gonna turn off this entire block for basically an indeterminate amount of time, which means massive freezers in the bottom of the supermarket, the Nyack Social, the district,
Crazy.
the deli, you know, all our street lights. And I was like, you know, couldn't we have found out about this ahead of time, you know?
Right.
So I went to all those business owners and we worked really hard to make sure that there was a backup generator to run the supermarkets. Freezers.
That was a lot.
But it was hair raising because then the O&R guys, you know, the O&Rs, I'm not complaining about them, but it's just like, it's a process. And so they're up in a bucket truck, you know, fiddling around with the connections and then they finished and just left and I didn't know yet. Cause I was standing there watching. So it was just kind of hair raising because I was worried that all this food was gonna thaw out and have to be thrown out in the supermarket and the restaurants.
I wanted to put the fast chargers there and Andy said, I can't do that.
I just can't.
You go through it again?
It was, the PTSD was coming in on that one.
So,
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Steve.
Steve.
yeah, that was scary.
All right, any other public comments on any issue that's not on the agenda tonight? All right, seeing,
Anything you want to talk about that's not on the agenda? Are you on the agenda back there? Are you on the agenda? Yeah, you're not, but you want to say so, so that's why, this is a good time to come up. If you're not on,
Still wanna come up.
oh, what, you're shy?
Yeah.
did you have something you want to talk to
She
us
does
about?
want to talk, she does, yeah.
So I've been here before and I've talked about my issues.
Let's talk your name, tell us your name.
Latoya Lair.
Oh, Latoya, okay.
So I talked about my issues with Tolman Towers.
So we can hear it, we can hear
So I talked about my issues before with Tolman Towers and there was something that happened, what was it, December 13th or 14th? I know it was a Friday. So I came home from work at 7 o'clock at night and I'm going up to my apartment door and I hear stomping and banging. I'm talking about it was loud, it was bad. It was outside of my apartment. So I called my next door neighbor, we communicated with each other about those things. And she basically said, you know, it's the person above you. This person has no respect for you. The stuff that she said was kind of inappropriate. She's like, I would just put a letter under the door telling them to shut the F up and that's it at this point, because it's gone on too long. And then what she said is, obviously, I'm not gonna do that. Me and her literally went up to this person's apartment to talk to them nicely. To say, listen, it's the person's grandkids. They're like, can you please, you know, keep it down? But she's like, I'm hearing it on my side. And she said to me, I hear it one more time, me and you're gonna go upstairs. So I didn't really want to go up there. I went with her, and this is what the neighbor said. Oh, it's public housing. It's public housing. And she said, they don't listen to me. And then my neighbor was saying to her, listen, you need to make them sit down. And she said, it's a lot of noise. It's bad. And there's no carpet in that building anymore either. So that's also another thing. And Saturday, this continued. I called the cops Saturday, basically. I literally called the cops. The cops came to my apartment first. It was supposed to be anonymous. But then other people knew about it on the 7th floor. This is where it was coming from, the 7th floor. And one neighbor above my neighbor basically said, why did you call the cops on us? And my neighbor said, she didn't call on you, she called on a lady above you. Because she was told to do that from management. That's what they tell us to do, call the cops on people. Don't try to have a conversation with your neighbors, call the cops on.
That's what the management says?
That's what they tell us to do when it's a noise issue.
Which location is this?
There's
Tolman
more-
Towers.
So there's more to this also. So the Tuesday that the lady that works in the management office came in, I went down there to talk to her. I actually waited in the laundry room and here comes my above neighbor strolling in the laundry room with a cart, dragging a cart. And I'm, oh no, here we go. So I left out of there and I just went upstairs and I caught the management lady on the first floor. She basically said, neither one of you had no right to go up to that lady's apartment. She could have had a gun. She could have had, I'm like, what? She was going overboard. She's like, neither one of you, she's saying that you guys are harassing her and we're not doing anything. It was the noise issue. So this lady literally went downstairs with a packet, a folder this big. And I'm like, it can't be on me because I don't do nothing to this woman.
Latoya, because we've talked before, I remember we had an email conversation right before Christmas, where you said that you had an issue, there was something about the ledger that you resolved.
So too, but see, that's another.
That still hasn't resolved, okay, that hasn't resolved, and now you've got this other problem with your neighbor, you've had problems with neighbors before with noise.
That's it's a common issue in that building. I know lots of people, this is what will happen, lots of people, in this building, they will complain to management, some people will keep it to themselves. I know someone that just moved, what is it, 10 years ago, they came back.
Why don't we do this, you know how to, just because I don't know if we would accomplish anything here today, but you have my email, why don't you shoot me another email, we'll sit down. And I'll get the information, because I've reached out to management on your behalf before.
But this is the thing though, she's saying that if it keeps on going on with me and the lady above, she's gonna let it go to court and then we'll both be terminated from our lease. And I said, I should.
I don't know if that's really the way it works, but
Wow.
that's not really how it works. You get terminated from your lease for making a complaint. But so let's talk about it, because we can work on it. Just shoot me an email in the morning. You know how to reach me, and we'll set up a time, or I'll talk to your management company for you. Okay?
Okay, there's someone else, I don't know, they wanted to come, I don't know what happened, every time they forget, I tell them about the meeting.
Well, you can share their information with me as well.
Yeah, 'cause that's my neighbor, she witnessed all this stuff.
Well, it's tough for us to do anything at the meeting, so that's why I'm saying reach out to me, because I have my phone, I can call up, I can reach out, because we reached out before a couple of years ago about something you had with the management. So we'll do that again, okay?
I just don't want them to retaliate against me or,
Mhm.
see, that's
Yeah.
the problem,
That's
everybody's
the-
afraid of
yeah.
there.
Well, let's talk about that as well, and we'll talk about what your lease situation is, so I can make sure that you're not in any danger there, okay?
Okay,
All right, thank you, thanks for coming, Latoya.
Thank you.
Have a great day,
you too.
and Happy New Year.
Happy New
Last time we
Year.
talked was right before the holidays, I remember. Does anybody else have any public comment? All right, then let's get to, you know what, we can actually go right to the public hearing, since it's after 7:30, so can
Okay.
I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, the public hearing is now open. The public hearing is about, several years ago, we passed a law that banned the use of gas-powered leaf blowers within the village limits. In October, after much deliberation, we carved out an exception for properties over 10 acres, which really applied to just two properties up on the very western edge of Nyack, which is the cemetery and the apartment complex, the Warren Hills apartment complex behind them, which, because of the tree line and because of the hills, they made a very strong case that they needed the opportunity to do to use gas-powered leaf blowers for cleanup in the spring and the fall. So we passed allowing them to do it for about 6 weeks, I believe, in the spring, and 6 weeks in the fall for limited hours during weekdays only, no holidays. We then, in order to ensure that as the technology changes, the need for the gas-powered leaf blowers might ameliorate, we added, after that, passing that legislation, we discussed adding a sunset provision that after 3 years, which this would be year one, the exemption would sunset, would go away, and they would have a village board would then have to renew it, or really pass it from scratch. Wouldn't be automatically renewed. So it will be automatically repealed on 12/31/2028. That's what the legislation is about. Does anybody have any comment on it from the public? Anybody from the village board has a comment?
No.
Okay, I close the public
Motion to
hearing.
vote, what, you opened it, right?
I opened it already.
Yeah, so after, there's no discussion, you close the vote.
There's no discussion. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion, yeah, no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll close the hearing. We will get to let's do the resolution while we're talking about it. Skip over to action item
There's a vagina there.
action item 8.10. Resolution 2026-10, to amend the 238-4. Can I get this on the table?
Second.
All right, any comments or questions on this resolution, which is the articulation that of the public hearing, the legislation involved in the public hearing that we just had? Any comments or questions? Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, let's go back to the regular agenda. Oh, we have another public comment section, but I think that's probably a typo. Adoption of the minutes. Any comment? Can I get that on the table?
Motion, second.
Any comments or questions on the minutes of our last meeting of 12/1/25?
I don't even remember it.
Is that a comment or a question?
Did you take it? You didn't take an oath of office, so
I
it
did.
is memorable too. None, all in favor of adopting the minutes?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We don't have a presentation. Action items, 8.1, resolution 26-1. 26-1, the first resolution of the year is accepting the audit voucher summary, so.
It is every year.
It's very important.
All right, can I get on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 8.2, resolution 26-2, resolution authorizing bi-weekly payments to the safety patrol contractor. Can I get this on the table?
Motion. Second.
Andy, just want to describe what it is. This is just to regulate our payments to authorize them in advance.
Right, this village board approves every check that's written by this audited abstract, which you get every week. In certain cases, we want to build in the ability to make payments without direct approval at the board meeting, which are regular and recurring. And so for administrative purposes and for the contractor to receive regular payment, we ask your permission to pay them outside of the monthly abstract that we give you. And that's what this resolution does. It's basically housekeeping on the procurement process.
I said, will it be ultimately approved by the board as part of the audit?
Yeah, it still goes in. It's just that
It's already gonna be paid.
We're gonna send them the money
Okay,
bi-weekly instead of when meetings occur. Because typically right after the meeting occurs, we run a whole bunch of checks. Because they've been approved by you.
okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 8.3, resolution 26-3. A resolution to approve an agreement with Catholic Charities for an outreach worker for the village. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
What is this?
Discussion. This is the thing that we've talked about, which was basically we had money for it from the cannabis tax. We said as part of the cannabis approval, we were going to take half of the cannabis sales tax money and apply it toward addressing some of the externalities of cannabis use. One of which was going to be recreation sports to help kids keep them occupied in productive ways so that they're not exposed to the potential for drug use. And another thing we talked about was trying to address some of the externalities in terms of providing outreach for social services. So Andy and I met with a bunch of different groups to try to find the right fit. We believe Catholic Charities is the right fit they're going to administer it. We're not going to hire the person directly. They're going to be hired by Catholic Charities, but they're going to be at least partially, they're not going to work for us full time. They're going to be partially tasked to do outreach in the village to coordinate social services for people in need in the village. They're going to do regular office hours right at the library. They're going to be posted. People will know about when they can go see them at the library. They'll be at the night Soup Angels at every serving at the Soup Angels to essentially be there. And we're going to have them also do outreach if we see people that are camping out in the park or are panhandling or on a street and look like they're in distress, that this will be somebody that we will enable to try to be the first line of interaction with the village.
What happened with Rockland Recovery? They weren't a good fit.
They didn't have somebody that they could put into the role.
Okay.
Right, is that it?
Yeah.
Because we needed someone at night.
Lenny's outfit, yeah,
Okay.
they couldn't satisfy the need.
Okay.
Catholic Charities has a caseworker in the village every week, David Jackson, who's wonderful. But he only has a certain amount of time. And this would increase the amount of outreach services the village gets.
Would it be him or is it someone else?
At least his schedule is full, so we would work together and we'll need referrals. Because they don't have someone ready to go. So they need to go through a hiring and training process to get us somebody good, and we can make recommendations for that. So if anybody knows anybody.
Especially someone who lives in Nyack would be absolutely
Yeah,
perfect.
let's have a nice-
Like, what is?
For this role, yeah, they'll hire someone from Nyack. If we recommend somebody, we're gonna be paying for probably a large proportion of their yearly income.
Yeah, and in all likelihood, it'll be a part-time position, which is entirely funded by our project unless they.
Have another need for
Catholic
that.
Charities do other things, so.
Yeah,
The Catholic Charities they have a whole system of referrals internal, like they do work with housing.
Yeah, a lot of different
Make other
things
kind of
are-
referrals, so it's a good organization to work with. They already have experience, they know Nyack. And they've offered to sort of enhance their services in this way, which is a nice thing.
What Joe said something he wanted to say, yeah.
Yeah, in general, I'm pleased that we're doing something, but in particular about this, I was involved in the meeting with the Foundations for Recovery. And I thought that was a positive meeting, and there is a Nyack person who works for Foundations for Recovery. And I thought that would be the ideal
He wouldn't work at night.
person. What's that?
He wouldn't work at night.
You wouldn't work at night.
At night, yeah. We need someone at night.
Okay, I just wasn't. I wasn't.
That was the
involved in
issue.
it.
That's, yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't, that's sometimes
A little.
during the holidays, I think it's sort of, we kind of lost the thread on it. But yeah, that was we don't have somebody right now. I mean, that's the idea is we're looking for somebody to do it. We're just authorizing once that person is identified and trained, that we're authorizing that person to be paid and this program to start.
I'm more than
Okay.
happy to hear someone at night, only because of all the issues that we often hear about what happens late at night, especially with our unhoused population. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
My only other question was, I know, I wasn't sure if they would also be trying to coordinate with like the middle school and the high school, just to also talk with the students, or even just what the center actually, more than Nike Center, since a lot of kids go there, to just have a discussion and make
Great.
sure people are educated. Would they be willing to do
Sure.
that work?
I think that we're gonna grow this,
Okay.
and they're gonna start with focusing on the Soup Angels site, because
Okay.
they're serving about 200 meals there twice a
Mhm.
week. And the library, because that's a regular area where folks in distress go for just
Yeah.
to relax and use the bathroom and read and so on.
It's also
So
probably a
it's
good
more
place
to go.
to do that coordination with at least the kids, because I know they have the teen room. There are a lot of kids who.
And then
do
I
that
think
space.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw issues at them and see how they handle, whether it's a housing issue or a.
Like the issue that we just came up,
Education.
the issue that the Latoya just brought up.
Various
Some of
ways,
the
let's sort of draw upon this resource and see what they're capable of helping with.
This is great. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah,
I
this is.
think this is great, but like, so what is the end goal here? Like, is this gonna be an ongoing thing yearly that we're just gonna do?
And it's up to this board, and we'll start with a 1-year agreement. And if the board wants to continue it, you continue it. If you don't.
Want to expand it, we can expand it. We could bring somebody in-house if we decide that we need someone to be working this from
I
the
think it also
village.
might depend too on,
What's
The
going
longevity.
on, the longevity.
well, what's going on, but also the longevity of cannabis business in Nyack, because that is some of the
No,
thoughts that we're
we're not having a
trying.
problem. We're
I
not.
just, probably, I'm just saying that we're
But I
trying
just
to-
wanna
no, I
know,
agree.
like-
No one's closing down the
Because if things
main
get
fund.
better on the outside, right? Because I know
Mm-hmm.
that things look better already, but of course, the weather has something to do with that. So I think that it's really wonderful. As long as we need that, but I just want to know, this is not something that we're gonna be built in for the next 10 years. We're
No,
gonna-
it's a
it's just-
1-year agreement.
At a
And
time,
this
okay.
board, and you can even get out of it anytime you want, basically. It's an agreement.
Year at a
It's-
time
it's-
to see.
Yeah, if we didn't like after 3 months and we said we want someone else.
30-day notice, kind
Yeah.
of, either party can.
And I think this is all great, but I do have to openly say that we do pay for a police department as well. And I commend us for our community and what we want to do to keep people safe and do all these measures. Yes, we are getting tax revenue from cannabis, which is great, which could essentially be used somewhere else. My problem is, and my question is, I want OPD to show up a little bit more. Like, what are they going to be doing? It seems like we are doing some of their job.
Well, I would only
On a certain
clarify a little bit, because I actually think that the police are not equipped to do what this person's gonna be doing. We don't want the police being the first contact with somebody who's in some sort of distress, or is homeless, or is at the soup kitchen and getting soup angel's meal and has problems. Then the police are not equipped to do that. In fact, I think one of the things that I like about this project is that we're sort of finding a balance of, we put $40,000 into the safety patrol, which is sort of a law enforcement type quasi function.
Right.
And now we're putting $40,000 into what we think of as like more of a social social services function, which, you know, the whole concept that came out of that defund the police movement was the idea that take responsibilities from the police and fund them from people who are qualified to actually provide those kinds of services, rather than rely on the police to be the first intercession, because that's not really their core competency. It's not something that they want to do as part of their main role. They want to be responding to calls and doing things that they do as police. And so I think this is actually perfect. I think this is a perfect program, and it's a great start. I hope it ripens into something larger, because I would love for us to have a actual social services function. If we don't have it in-house, because there are some legal aspects to us having it in-house as a village, at least having it contracted for somebody to help some of the people in the village that need help.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that I disagree with that. There are other agencies, yes, that I think are better equipped to deal with people that are in distress. However, this is still our village. We still pay taxes, and my personal opinion is that I still would like to see police presence walking the street once in a while, instead of getting pizza or being parked on Franklin Street, where they have a free ride where they're sitting there a lot of times.
All right, I'm gonna agree with you to the extent that we do pay a lot in taxes for to Orangetown for the police department. And I think we all would like to have the police department have a stronger foot patrol presence within the village.
Mhm.
I don't think that's inconsistent with what we're doing here today. I think it's a different thing than we're here today, because this is not a crime control measure. This is a social services measure.
Social service.
And we do absolutely need, I mean, Andy and I just had a meeting with one of our local businesses about some of the issues they're having with criminal activity.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we'll be talking to the police about, because that is a separate issue, and I think it's a very serious issue and something that needs to be addressed. I'm saying, though, that we can address two things at once, and this we need to address from a social services angle, and I think we need to have a stronger OPD presence, and also more foot patrols, which is why we had the safety patrol started.
Right.
For that purpose.
I will
to supplement that.
This much too, just to sort of, I guess, piggyback off of both of you. I do agree with you, Donna. I would like to see more police in Nyack. I mean, more OPD in Nyack. We are still meeting with them.
Yes, next
15th,
week, right? Yeah,
next week.
Next week.
So I know that's definitely an opportunity for us to all bring up that response.
We've begun the schedule.
And then the last thing, to have that conversation with them, I said response. And the last thing too, Rockland County still does have BART, and that is really that's
what we used when I was
that's
at the library.
right, and like that's really where in the vein of maybe not having OPD do it, that's probably the body that we
Right.
should have more of a touch with, and maybe, or hopefully with Catholic Charities having communication with BART, maybe we'll start to see them more, especially when it comes to
They're
dealing
very good.
with these, the behavioral health response team in Rockland County. So they're the ones that mostly get called when there is someone's in mental health crisis, so.
And they're not in like
With-
a vehicle that's like, you know, like a
Yeah.
government vehicle, they're.
With
they-
sirens.
they're-
Yeah,
you don't have any of
yeah,
that.
so like that's probably the better
Right.
like quasi or law enforcement group that we should be having more communications with, and I
And
think.
do, yes.
Yeah,
so-
the social worker with
We'll
Catholic
do
Charities
that.
will probably be that nexus in the village to help have them hear more, especially at night when we're dealing with a lot of
Right.
these issues. So,
Okay.
Just remind ourselves that the Orangetown Police Department is here every single week. Out of uniform, doing street outreach. And they've invested a lot of time in that, building relationships with folks. It's a big part of and we're not trying to reduce that or substitute for it, just add to it. But they walk hand in hand with the foundation's agent, and work closely with Catholic Charities, with
So
Bart.
we're all on.
They really are
everybody's
the
talking
they're
to
first
each other.
responders. Most police work is domestics and medicals, with some criminal along the way, hopefully, you know. But police do a
Hopefully they
lot.
address the crime.
Police do a lot of social work, a lot of social work. And that's just the reality of what the community need is, in most places. And they certainly spent a lot of time talking to, folks in distress on the street in various ways.
Okay.
And making referrals.
Good, excellent. So let's get this person, everybody, any other questions? All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I think it's a great program, and let's get somebody wonderful to do this, and
Can they come to a village board meeting and we can talk to them and then they can introduce themselves and.
Yeah, we'll work with Catholic Charities to help them find somebody.
At least know
And
who
then
they
once we're up
are.
and running, we'll definitely bring them by.
Okay.
good.
can we also do something too with them and the safety patrol, just like for a community more, like, hey, here we are, we're here, we're gonna be in these places. If anyone needs us or whatever, giving out.
that's
numbers,
great.
things like
Yeah,
that.
I think
No, they're around.
building
That's great,
services,
too.
these are,
Yeah,
I mean, these are all services that didn't exist 2 years ago,
Right.
and we're building them. That's good. All right, resolution action item 8.4, resolution 26-4, adopting the NIAC climate vulnerability and adaptation plan. Any comments or questions? Oh, I'm sorry, getting on the table.
Motion.
second,
Now, any comments or questions?
I read through the whole thing. First of all, I must say, it's the depth that it goes into and all of the corners of the village and the action plans. I commend the people, the committee that sat down and wrote it. Really, it's exhaustive analysis. My question is in terms of the executive summary and the action plan, what is the cost to the village? Have we gone into this? There was a hydrovac truck, for instance, a recommendation. I mean, there are a lot of bits and pieces. What is the cost to the village?
So
Since we are gonna have to vote on it, we're gonna have to.
the adoption of the plan does not obligate this board to do anything other than return and review the plan periodically. That's what
Okay.
the resolution says.
We're not passing
We're
the,
committing.
by definition, we're not passing the elements in it.
Oh, right, but wouldn't it be nice to know what the cost of the elements are?
Right, if there was any one action that the board wants to take, it will be evaluated separately in terms of cost. So.
He's saying, should we know the cost before we pass the plan? I think the plan is a recommendation
The
to us.
recommendation, yeah.
It's a recommendation to us, but and we're adopting, saying, okay, we will consider those recommendations, but I don't think that we're saying that we're gonna.
We're gonna.
Look at them as part of the budget process.
Well, I understand that, but it'd be nice to fill it out and to see what the total cost of a lot of these actions are gonna be. I mean, it's great to adopt the plan, but it's just basically adopting a piece of paper without any.
If we looked at all the costs, we might end up striking down about 3/4 of the plan. That's the problem. Is that a lot of the costs might be, some of these
Yeah.
actual action items might be not something we can look at in terms of our current budget environment, but it's not a 1-year plan, right? It's a.
right, that's what I was gonna
No.
say, some of the stuff might get pieced out over like.
Over periods of time.
Yeah.
10-year plan.
So,
Yeah.
A lot of the issues.
we don't have to have the money now.
Are not strictly governmental. I mean, it involves
A lot of private.
recommended
buildings.
actions by a wide range of private actors. And
Right,
it's,
Right, but I'm talking about for for the village's part. Was there a lot of recommendations that the village should do? And I just want to know what the village's,
Let's get some estimates on, like, so the next meeting we can get a quick follow-up on
yeah, I'm
what
just
this all cost.
wondering what the action is that you want costed out that's.
Well, why don't you let them know? Let them know these things are on the village. These are the village obligations that we're saying are recommendations that we are approving.
right,
How much would these 3 or 4, 5, 6, however many items there are,
yeah,
how much would they cost us?
it's in the executive summary, a lot of the items.
Yeah. So just for example, on the, like, one of them is reducing downtown flooding. By basically continued maintenance of the storm sewer system, completing our MS4 map. It says obtain a hydrovac truck.
Right,
But you can't get until the MS4 map is done, right?
Well, we could buy one, but we can get a grant for one
Right.
if we play our cards right later. But the purchase of a truck like that would be a village board separate standalone decision. Like
Right.
passing a plan that says that would be a nice thing does not obligate this board to actually do it.
He wants to know how much, if we did all this stuff, would it cost? So let's get.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's unreasonable, I'm just saying that, it's nice to know. What the village will be on the hook for at some point in the future,
Um,
over a period of time.
while I don't disagree with you on that, I do just want to make mention, when the state does these plans, because I just was part of one with the Sawmill River study, they write them, not like obviously with more detail, similar to this, where there are no cost estimates, but there are suggestions on what should be the next, like,
Right.
infrastructure priorities, things to be fixed, where they see issues. They do write them similarly. And then it is left to us after these reports are published and put out to then start to investigate what the structural integral cost of those things will be, what it looks like, rendering, stuff like that, in terms of looking for funding. But I don't disagree that, we should have some idea, but like some of this stuff could probably run in like the millions.
Oh, yeah.
Like in total, so that's probably why it's better to maybe piecemeal out each cost of things. And you might not be
But
able
also
to do that
something
in
where-
time unless you're looking for work to get done like right away.
Most of the stuff we're gonna do it through grant.
Yeah,
So
that's
we don't know
true,
what the
yeah.
grants are that we're gonna be. applying
Right,
for,
yeah,
so
no, that's
The
what I.
cost to the village might be a fraction of what they would actually.
Right, by the time we're looking at costs, it's probably because we're getting ready to either apply for a grant or plan to do the work itself in general. So that's why, like, it's probably standard procurement process and things like that with the 3
Okay,
years.
so in general, this is a blueprint.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
A blueprint, a kind of
A wish
a wish.
list.
It's aspiration.
Yeah, it's an aspiration, yeah.
Aspirational, okay.
Yeah.
I look at it literally.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, all of this.
No, that's why I had said like that's why I gave the state example, because I know what you mean. I do the same thing at work, but they'll never get, like, unless you're getting ready to start the work, that's when you start to assess what the cost will be.
Right, so
Yeah.
These are akin to the New Year's resolutions I made about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, probably.
Which that
which is
broken,
broken.
yeah. I've already blown through them, but there are still there as aspirational. I still might make it, a lot of days left.
There are 11 months left in this
There are
year.
354 days left here, something like that.
But
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that I commend the committee for this blueprint, this aspirational
they
blueprint.
did a great job. They
Yeah,
identified
yeah,
that which we should be aspiring to, which is an important role.
I think
for
it's,
them.
and on just reading it, it's like, yeah, you can kind of see like in the spots in the village that this is definitely necessary, or it's going to be soon. So.
Okay, Joe, which resolutions did you? Is this talking about the 355 more days?
Oh, this 350, yeah, no, we get, those are private. All right, all in favor of resolution, 2026-4?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Resolution, 8.5 action item, resolution 2026-5, increasing the salary of Kyle, the treasurer. Check on the
Motion.
table.
Second.
Just give us 30 seconds as to why, because he's great. He's awesome.
It's not easy to find this kind of talent
Absolutely.
at all, at all. This village
And with
has
a
had
smile.
trouble finding it.
He's so
And
nice.
it matters dramatically
That's so kind.
for the management of the village. Just today, we spent about an hour and a half with our financial management person from Unistat. Because we have a big debt sale coming up soon. We have to meet with Standard & Poor's to get a rating for our debt, which makes a big difference on our interest rate that we'll pay. The work that Kyle is doing as treasurer is going to help us immeasurably to present our case to the ratings agency, and to make sure that we actually do the work behind the scenes that we actually qualify for a good credit rating. That's just one example. There's a massive amount of work that needs to be done in terms of auditing and accountability and taking care of the money, it's a
Gotta
lot.
take care of
And
the
he's doing a
money.
great job. Yeah, doing a good job.
Awesome.
And he is, and with a smile, very
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
and really
We're
hardworking.
very lucky to get a young man who wants to be here a long time, who's kind of comes from a family that does municipal finance, that is interested in this. Not a lot of people are, so it's fun.
Generational municipal.
Yeah, I know.
It's really, they really don't have that comment.
Look, I can't, I come from the same stock, so I can't really complain. Like, I can't like make fun too hard, but I do love that. It's kind of funny.
All right, any other comments or questions? He is really terrific and we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, I'm cool.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Kyle. Resolution, action item 8.6, resolution 26-6. Adopting a project labor agreement for construction of the emerging contaminant treatment project at the Nyack Water Treatment Plant. Can I get on the table?
Motion. Second.
Andy, give us a minute to explain what this is.
So this is kind of in the weeds of procurement. When you have a very large project, the state allows you to do a study showing that instead of having each like electrical, plumbing, carpentry as a separate contract, you can do one contract where everything is integrated into one contract. It allows people to coordinate their efforts better. You're less likely to have a work stoppage due to one team not agreeing with the other or something like that. So it's called a project labor agreement. It requires a feasibility study that shows that it's cost effective. The engineering company did that. That was attached to this resolution. And it's project labor agreement. And essentially it's an agreement with labor to consolidate the contracting of this project, which is the additional treatment process at the plant, into one big project instead of having to coordinate among various trades.
It's like baby design build.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Anything over $500,000, the Wicks law applies, and the Wicks law says you gotta piece out the contracts by trade, electrical, plumbing, carpentry, which is pretty
Long.
it's pretty onerous,
But with this, we don't have to.
Right, if you do a project labor agreement, if you can qualify for it by having a feasibility study that shows that it works financially, then you can have a PLA. And offer that as the contract.
Okay.
And it saves money.
Yes.
Right, that's the basis of it, is that it's more cost effective
You
than
sold it.
traditional route.
You saved money, you sold it. All right, any other comments or questions? All in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimously. Action item 8.7, resolution 2627. Authorizing the signature on a letter regarding enforcement of the nutrient runoff law. Can I get on the table?
Motion. Second.
Any comments or questions? Why don't you, Andy,
This
explain?
really
what it is?
originates in our water system. We get our water from Lake to Forest, which drains down the Hackensack River, and we have a inlet pipe on the Hackensack River just north of Route 59, but south of the thruway. And surface runoff is a form of pollution which affects our water supply. It increases our costs for treatment. And this resolution is to reinforce a request that the state invest more heavily in making sure that surface waters are protected from pollution in specific ways that are described in the resolution. I have to read it and remember exactly what they are, but
I have a bill on this.
it's about phosphorus.
Yeah, for work. It's about the road salt, the.
Yeah, it's about the road salt running off into the water and it damages the water, and it's basically.
This is about fertilizers, not the road salt is another issue. This is about nutrient runoff.
Okay,
The road salt is another issue, which is it's even harder in some respects.
I literally just put the bill in
Yeah.
to fix it for the state,
For the road salt,
the road salt.
yeah,
Yes.
because we can't remove it, like we can't
Yeah.
filter out salt.
They're trying to reduce as much of it getting into
Yeah.
water systems as possible because of how salty the Croton aqueduct has become for New York City.
And there's literally people at Nyack Hospital for whom our water is too salty.
So what we're voting on is just to
This is about
authorize me,
nutrient runoff, it doesn't have to do with
but
salt.
a nutrient runoff, but it's basically to support the New York State nutrient runoff law to protect surface waters, and you're expressing support for a letter that I have, it's already been signed and sent out, but you're supporting back. We want to get it out before, it was during the holidays.
After.
Yeah, we don't do it that often. It's never happened before.
Public.
But I generally feel like I have your support on this. There was a time frame. There was an urgency. Any other comments or questions?
Not at
All
this
in
time.
favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for your support for my letter. 8.8, resolution 28-8, approving the appointment of Miriam Rubinson to the zoning board of appeals. Can I get on the table?
Second.
Ms. Rubinson was on the zoning board of appeals. She had, we had approached her about taking a different position within the village. That didn't end up being a good fit, so she's asked to be back as an alternate for
Yes.
the zoning board. So she was great on the zoning board. There's no problem from the chair of that zoning board, so I think this makes sense for us to approve her to go back. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. 26-9, approving street closure permits for Maureen's Jazz Cellar for 2 events on May 9th and August 29th. Can I get it on the table?
On the table.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Nope.
Beautiful
So it's
events.
successful.
They always do a nice
I
job.
always end up missing it, ironically.
I'm gonna go this, yeah, I know.
Yeah, August 29th is an awkward date. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We did 8.10, 8.11, resolution 2611, applying for a grant from the New York State Department of Transportation for sidewalk improvements in the area between Broadway and the waterfront. Can I get on the table?
Second.
Andy?
Another big sidewalk project, if we get the money. You may have noticed the sidewalk along the upper lawn between where the Veterans, the Legion Hall is, over to Dubuque.
Oh, yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, I walked that.
Particularly over the brook, but also all the corners around the intersection of Dubuque and Piermont. As you go across the front of the church, that area, the sidewalks are terrible. There are no sidewalks on Spear Street going down towards the waterfront. The sidewalks on Main Street and parts of Gedney as well are in deplorable situations. So, because if we get it, we'll have another big sidewalk project to do, you know.
Where on Gedney again?
The first part, like up towards the bottom of Lydecker and High Avenue.
Okay.
Basically, there's a couple of sections there which are in bad shape.
Well, those folks have been asking for it for a while, so.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be able to do
That'd be
that for
good to
sure.
see.
Speaking about that, what's the situation with that big hole in the ground? I won't mention names.
Where TZ Vista is supposed to go?
Yes.
Won't mention names, make his
Yeah,
name.
I mean, every time I see Drosner and Julia, I ask them kind of what's going on, and they, my belief is that they are currently working with potential investors to finance the project essentially.
How long can the village, when does the village's patience, start to wear thin about this?
4 years ago, 5 years ago?
No, how long more?
I know,
Rather,
that's what I'm saying.
these permits still.
They have.
Building permit, does the building permit have a period of time? Is that,
Or it's special.
how long was it run for?
This is a Dennis Michaels question.
I wanted to say this in public.
Okay.
It's legal counsel on a
Okay.
potentially.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how long generally does the building permit have a finite period?
Quick answer, nothing lasts forever, not even vested property rights in a
Okay.
building permit.
Okay.
Upon which substantial construction expenditures have been outlaid, which is the case here. Does that last forever? No,
Okay.
obviously it does not. When does it not exist anymore in terms of legal enforceability? I
But an actual
I
bill-
wouldn't give it to you now.
I thought an actual building permit has a date certain upon which it expires. An individual building permit, that's what I
Yes,
understood,
yeah, again, I don't wanna.
as a general
My
matter.
memo addressed all that, going back a couple of years, I'm not, I'm not saying read my memo, Joe, is that what I'm doing?
No, I'm asking what I think is a very simple question.
Yeah,
When someone gets a building permit, doesn't it have a period of time that it runs for? If I go get a building permit to build a porch on my front deck, don't I have isn't a
Yes.
building permit only active for a period of time?
correct, as it was in this case.
And I'm saying, is that period of time still running for this?
No, it is not,
We-
and
we-
it wasn't a couple years ago, it expired.
Oh, they never got a new one. They never got a new one.
No.
Ah, okay, that's the
That's
answer to my
not
question.
aware of, no.
I thought they applied for a new building permit and we just allowed it.
Did, I don't think it ever gelled into a building permit being issued recently.
Okay, well then that's answers the question.
Yeah.
All right, let's find the answer to the next.
So it's a
meeting.
more of the esoteric question. Quick answer is the vested property rights protections that
At
a
some point it
developer may have
wanes.
in a building permit that was issued, even though it did expire. But substantial construction expenditures were outlaid or reliance upon that building permit that has since expired. Does that last forever? No. That's my educated, solid guess. Can I point to case law right now sitting here? No.
It's
And I
fuzzy.
wouldn't in any way burden you with that, but of course, nothing lasts forever. You can't have a whole.
Can we reach
Sit
out to
there.
them and say, we'd like to have an update, like a
Sure, why
formal
not?
update on what's going on with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's set them in.
Instantly, I have repeatedly counseled the building department, that there are potential violations that can be prosecuted for that hole in the earth.
Okay,
You know, just because they have a building permit.
doesn't mean they can leave it as a state of.
And arguably or not, a vested constitutionally protected property right in that building permit or not. That doesn't mean they can have this blighted property, month after month, year after year. By no means is not what I have opined.
Yeah, and I understand. Okay, thank you.
Now, you said they've had substantial outlay in the, digging the hole in the ground, but they had a quid pro quo with that. They got a $1 million tax credit from New York State, right? So it's not as if they outlaid the money without.
They spent about
spending-
$10 million on it. They spent a lot more than $1 million on the property. Maybe cleaned up.
It doesn't matter where they got the money
It seems
from.
like-
Yeah.
They got it
Some of
from a
this-
private mortgage lender, they got it from
All
a.
right, let's get a report. We're gonna have a meeting with them at some point soon. We'll report back as to where they are. And then let's get Dennis prepared for the question of, we don't need to do it right now, but let's get a general sense of, do we have options? We don't need to know at the next meeting, but let's have a meeting to get an update.
Yeah.
Andy, let's reach out to John and say, what's going on? Are you
Can you
killing us?
circulate your memo to at least me, because I need to read.
Sure. The memo that
Yeah.
when we had this issue in front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I need a little bit of
That was actually-
refreshing.
Yeah,
You got
definitely.
It's probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
No problem.
that was,
So we need a vote on the sidewalk grant.
yeah, the sidewalk, that's how we got on this, okay, sidewalk grant. All in favor of the sidewalk grant?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The 812 resolution 26-12, posting a loading zone sign on Hudson Avenue. We talked about this at the
We
Park
did,
Authority
yeah,
meeting.
we did.
Can I get on the table?
Motion, second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 813, resolution 28-13, approving the appointment of Alessandra Francisco to the Board of Nyack Housing Authority. Can I get this on the table?
Motion,
Second.
second.
We have any public comment on this? Because I see that we have Ms. Rogers from the chair of the acting chair
Yes.
of the
Good
Housing
evening.
Authority. Any public comment, or I don't know if you're here for that
Questions?
reason.
I just received her, resume, just today. And I haven't really told the board that she's coming. But I came here to meet her, but she's not here.
She's not, yeah, she's not here. She's not here.
So.
If you'd like me to connect you to her.
No, I
I'll-
she didn't have to come. That was on me.
No, people don't have to be here for appointments, but, and Pascal is saying that,
Yeah, I told her she didn't have to come.
She didn't need to
tonight.
be here.
I apologize.
but I can effectuate an introduction between the two of you. I will. Actually be at the next meeting. Yeah,
Is that next week?
it's
Yeah.
Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday?
That's enough story.
Oh, okay, but you'll know when it is, right? Okay.
I definitely.
Okay, great.
You have to be there.
Oh, there are bloggers, everybody.
Any comment? I'm thrilled that Alessandra's gonna be doing it.
Yes, I do think.
I think
it's
she'll be
great.
wonderful.
Yeah,
It's a
great
good
fit.
choice.
Yeah.
She's done wonderful work with the Pride Center, and I think she'll be tremendous for the Housing
And she cares
Authority.
about the
And
community.
teenagers
She
and
really
I,
cares.
she does a lot of good stuff for them.
Yep. Mhm.
For
A
the-
lot.
Teenagers and not.
Yeah,
Well, not just teenagers, but obviously.
right.
Are you?
Tap into her strengths to see, she is gonna be a good fit. I did read her resume. And she seems to be a good fit. So when I meet her,
a good person, she
Okay.
cares about the community, she'll be great in this role.
Yeah.
So we're delighted that she stepped forward to do this. Any other comments or questions?
Nope.
None.
All in favor?
Bye.
Enthusiastic eyes for Alessandra. All right,
Yeah.
that's it for resolutions, departmental reports. The board does have set up meetings, talking about the police department,
Oh, okay.
that are set up for is it next Thursday?
Yeah, my son's
And that's the
birthday.
15th.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's next Thursday. The meetings are set, and let me just remind everybody. The meetings are set for between 3 and 5 PM. They will be an hour each for either, so what you all need to do, and you just want me to set up an email, just for you all to pick what time makes more sense for you,
I can
because
do the 4 to 5. I'll just tell
you
you.
can only do the 4 or 5. So,
It's easier for work.
so we can, and whatever the lineup is.
Okay.
Only 2 of you at a time go from 3 to 4, the other 2 go from 4 to 5. If anybody can't make it, they can't make it, then what we'll probably have is I would probably sit in, or one of the other people could sit for a full 2 hours if they wanted to. Because we're allowed to have 2 people in the meeting with them at a time without having an open meeting problem. So just, why don't you email me and let me know what time so I can make the schedule and get the schedule to the OPD, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, just shoot me an email about that. And I'll follow up.
Anytime, I'm either.
You're either one's on fine with it? Okay.
Birthday, actually.
Also, just let me know if you want me there or not.
And
Happy
so.
to be there. I've put that block in my
Basically what?
schedule.
To just be there.
Yeah, why don't we go together? We should go together. We should show support for the trustees. So me and you will be there, and while they're in the meetings, we can sit and talk and debates and everything else.
Okay.
We can find, maybe
Go
we'll
wander
set
around.
up a meeting with Teresa. We'll set up a meeting with Teresa. We'll sit down.
Oh,
with
we'll see
Teresa.
your
Oh,
old
so we're
office.
doing this over at Arnstein?
We're doing it at their offices, right? That's what I thought it was.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it was at their offices.
Oh,
Oh, we're
in
going.
Orangetown.
In Orangetown, at the OPD office, at the Orangetown offices.
You can go
I don't know
get
if you're
your
both either.
sleeping ground.
I love doing that. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's make sure that we have that, make sure just everybody has that on the schedule.
On my way around.
We asked them for this meeting, so let's make sure that we are there. All right, village administrator report.
There's a lot going on, but I know that people don't want to hear all the details, so
It's still early. Dennis
I'll
is still.
just say a couple of things.
Let's keep it that way.
Just kudos to our DPW for the snow removal and the ice removal.
Yeah.
And our code guys for going out and making reminders to people to get the ice off the sidewalk. That helps a lot. But that's good. Too much chasing on it this time around, so it's nice to see. We have a real armload of capital projects coming up. And I just want to give you just a thumbnail report on that. We have bids in, but subject to evaluation for this village hall roof and heating and air conditioning system. You'll see on your next board meeting, you'll see recommendations from our engineers as to which companies to go with on that. We have folks right now looking at our second floor window project. We'll be getting bids in on that by, I think, January 15th. January 29th is when our shoreline path in the Memorial Park project bids are due. So after that, we'll have a bid analysis. We'll bring that to the board for review. That's a super exciting project. We have a project about to start on High Avenue to add drainage facilities coming down High Avenue to Franklin. That's gonna start soon.
Gonna dig up the road again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, when it's done, we're gonna pave that road, so it's beautiful.
I know.
So we have that happening. We're in the middle of building a new salt shed at the DPW, which is going up.
Right.
Drive over there, you see it, they're starting to work on the upper structure of that. When that's done, we decide what to do with the old salt shed. But in the meantime, we're about to go out to contract for a solar array for the top of the DPW, since we have a brand new roof there.
Oh, okay.
It's a good time to put solar up there. It'll be paid for by a grant. We've talked about this stuff before. But I don't have that ready to go yet. Marcy has a little bit of work to do on the state side to make sure we're ready to go. The Kilby Street project is on deck for this year. The sidewalks on Kilby coming down by Kilby Woods. So that's coming up in 2026. The Safe Routes to School project is gonna go to bid sometime in the next week or two. That's the project on Depew Avenue and Main Street, going up towards Upper Depew and the middle school and so on. Big sidewalk project that'll go out to bid for construction sometime in 2026. The senior center CDBG grant project is in design right now. It's not going to bid for a little while yet because I have to figure out what to do with the roof and the HVAC and the windows and so on. But that's getting prepared. The First Avenue sidewalk project had to stop because of the cold weather, but there's a couple more bits to do over there. So in the spring, we'll restart on some 88 corners and so on over there. The New York Forward projects are likely to get approved in some shape or form sometime early this year. And hopefully we'll have lots of work to do on waterfront restaurant, wayfinding and other kinds of projects. So there's a lot kind of stacking up that's gonna keep us super, super busy in the coming year.
I have a question. What about this roof?
This roof that's one of the ones I mentioned first.
That's, okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
that just went by me as I'm looking everywhere, so
Yeah.
that just went right through my mind,
Yeah, the
because coming
roof is
in,
gonna be
it's just
replaced.
full looking.
The roof is gonna be replaced. The interior work
Mhm.
is
Another
day,
story.
it's another day. It doesn't need to be done in order to replace the roof,
I don't know, Andy, look up.
but
It
it'd
is
be nice.
just-
It'll stop getting rain through it.
Oh my God.
Which is very important,
Right.
but aesthetically,
Yeah.
because even coming in the front
Yeah,
door
no,
to
there's-
this room, I was looking up and it was just awful.
We would be much happier if it was all done already, but one thing at a time. So the roof is gonna get replaced. The HVAC system is gonna get replaced. They're gonna coordinate those because what's on the roof is mechanicals for HVAC.
Mhm.
And once that's all done and we get our windows, then we'll take a look at the ceiling and some ways of improving lighting and things like that.
Okay.
We take a look at this room. It's a separate project.
For the Shoreline Park project, is that starting this year?
Yes.
When?
So the bids are, they're due back on January 29th. It'll take several weeks for the engineers to do a bid analysis and bring in a recommendation for an award to this group. That'll be at probably your second meeting in February. Looking to basically start in March, beginning of March.
The parade. That's why I'm asking.
So, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
So just, there will be changes in the occupancy of Memorial Park during the spring.
Okay.
Between now and end of June when the project's finished. I know more or less where the construction zone is.
Okay.
If you want specific information, I can show you the map of where the temporary fencing will go.
I would love to see.
People will be able to get to basically all of the grass.
Okay.
And most of the way down the driveway to the skate park. There'll be some material storage in the parking spaces where the taco truck usually is.
Yeah.
On that side, but we'll have access down through there. People will be able to use the park during construction. The pedestrian bridge will be closed because we're gonna be building something right on the side of it.
So I can't ride my bike across the pedestrian bridge? I know, I shouldn't say
Not unless you have a flying bike.
Everybody.
So yeah, there'll definitely be a lot of construction going on and it will change the use of the park for a period of time for sure.
I just, for the sake of the parade and everything, just so that we can, because we're getting ready to start planning, so I want to
Yeah.
make sure those.
I think you'll
Logistics
be
are-
less encumbered than when the entirety of the Great
Yeah.
Lawn
Oh,
was.
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more thinking of just for like vendors and like those like in and out
Yeah,
logistics, so, yeah,
So, because that's in June, so we'll
Yeah.
have a lot of time
okay.
before that happens to do some event planning work and kind of look on the nuances of the layout and so on.
Cool.
If it's priority for sure. So that's a bit of a story.
Also, one more question. I guess we're not up to paving yet on what's gonna get paved.
I can tell you what the priorities are, which is the areas that are worse, like on Jefferson, Marion,
Oh, okay.
First.
I just want to hear you
Where
say
we've
Mary.
been- where we've been tearing out.
It's all a trick, I know,
That
that's
water
pretty
main
good.
work and the sidewalk work. So those areas are probably the worst roads in the village right now.
Yeah,
Cedar, Bird and Church in the vicinity of that little section.
Yeah.
Those are in really pretty bad shape. Bird going down.
yeah,
The third phase of the water main project is on pause right now.
okay,
So that's why we haven't paved on Cedar, Church and Bird,
Mhm.
because there's water mains there that were supposed to be replaced in the third. So we have to decide at some point, because those roads are in pretty bad shape,
Mhm.
if we want to wait for the water project or just go ahead.
Any reason it's on pause, or am I asking?
The reason why is because the PFAS treatment process is sort of it's a massive undertaking. The amount of debt that they're issuing is more than usual. So they have a lot of, it's hard enough for them to keep up with
Yeah.
that than starting to open up much more streets.
And we're not I shouldn't say not concerned, but do they think that while the PFAS project is going on, the water main in those places are sound and not at like total risk of?
Yeah, the reason why they were in phase C of the water main project is because they're the least,
Okay,
they're the lowest priority for replacement.
okay,
A and B were the higher priority.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that there aren't issues. And they're still investing, for example, in the valves. Like recently we had on the corner of Main and Park,
Mhm.
there's a big dig there, a
Yeah.
crosswalk. And this is one of the things that happens with old water systems is you have to be able to shut off the water to do the work.
Right.
So you go out and you turn the valves and you close them and you find out that your valve doesn't close all the way because it's old and deteriorated. So you need to go out another block to the next
Close
valve.
some more, yeah.
And it increases the amount of service interruption
Mhm.
area. So that's what happens with that. So one of the things that Tom Lynch is working on is a sort of a valve kind of exercising and identifying the ones that don't work and dealing with them as a plan rather than as an emergency.
Okay.
But
Well-
that project's gonna move forward.
Thanks for Marion, my tires, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's actually a big pothole out there right now. I just I
Yeah.
fell in last night on the home from Joe's.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my car felt it too.
There's a big pothole, not a big one, a small pothole, but very wet in the travel lane on North Broadway, across the street from We Love Bread and Dr. Svensson's. It's small, deep, and it's right in the travel lane, so I always forget about it.
Hey, and then you hear,
Boom,
boop.
boom, boom.
Oh,
That's these potholes are just simply traffic control measures.
It's called
Perhaps
that.
everybody driving slow.
And
Traffic calming.
and tire repair,
Yeah, well, that's why we have so many tire places in Nyack, that do
Listen.
driving businesses. I will say this, I drove I think it was yesterday morning up the thruway and there was a big pothole and there's always been a pothole if you are coming from 59 and you make the right by the gas station, you go up and then you want to make the left onto the thruway entrance. If you cut the corner a little tight, there's been a constant pothole there. We fill it, it wears down, it goes back, and it blew a tire on me about 5 years ago.
Which one
Yeah.
is this?
It's if you make the right, you go on 59, make a right to go to the thruway entrance, make a left, make a right on Polhemus, then make a left
Yeah,
on the thruway entrance, right where the divider is. If you cut that corner a little bit, there's a giant pothole, and it's always then it was there yesterday and it was gone.
That's why I
It's
go-
filled today, so thanks to whoever it is that did that.
also,
It might have
was
been
quick.
the way.
It
For
was
the
quick work though, because
for
it
the-
wasn't there that long.
for the shoreline project, the basketball court will remain open through that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
As will I assume the Great Lawn would be open for.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, definitely.
It's all really down by the waterfront.
Andy, I have some suggestions.
Sorry, Joe, say it again.
I have some suggestions, residents have been asking me a couple of things. First of all, there is no pedestrian crosswalk on Main between DDA and Midland. Right, so if somebody wants to cross over, they have to cross over when traffic is going down. So
Wait, DA
question
in Midland?
Going up to Midland, yeah.
between Midland Avenue
Yeah.
and
Where Summit Street doesn't have.
Oh.
crosswalk.
Oh, yeah, right, okay, yeah.
crossing Main Street. Is it possible to add midpoint another crosswalk? I know it's not the ideal, there's no traffic control, stop signs or traffic lights, but at least it gives somebody a running chance to cross the road.
But I walked there too.
I would second that. I would also say that I would almost think about putting a stop sign down Main Street, coming down from 9W. Just simply as a traffic calming, Bill Batson lost a car door,
Yes. he did
Wow.
parked in
that.
front of Didier, opened his car door, car just
Bomb.
took it right off.
Yeah.
Really?
And if his leg had been there, his leg would have gotten taken right
Yeah.
off too.
Sometimes it's
That's
kinda like
where,
that.
well, it was a bike accident with Mary Adler, but people careen down that road and
They
it's very
do.
narrow.
And then the
because
lines
because
are
it's very narrow
lined
and then we have parking on both sides for part of it. That I would think about what we could do to just slow people down coming down, because if they get past the light at Midland, it's just a straight,
It's.
downhill shot.
And another thing to add, because there's that children's music school there are a lot more kids walking in that area, so it's probably worth
Well,
figuring.
there is a crosswalk there.
Yeah,
There is
but.
signage, but I'm talking about a crosswalk.
He's talking about up the hill. He's
No,
talking
no,
about-
Up the hill.
Yeah, I'm
but-
talking about something else, which would be to.
But
maybe put
maybe
a
that
stop
would
sign.
help slow it down, but
Yeah.
to just fly down
Fly down
that hill.
Yeah.
So speed bump.
I would have.
No, I can't do speed bumps.
Out of cars,
Speed bumps, they don't like speed. Stop signs are better than speed bumps for that purpose, for coming downhill.
even though people don't full stop anymore, they forgot what they learned in driving school or
That's what they-
getting their road.
That's because
test.
they have to take a three
It's full of
question
roll.
test now.
Yeah.
Totally messed up.
No.
Now, another,
yeah.
a question
The other
about that, Main Street. And, we need, next to the community kitchen parking lot,
Mhm.
coming down Catherine, getting onto, Main Street.
Mhm.
The signage there on the painted signage is almost completely faded out. And the stop sign is too small. Needs to have something which was pedestrians walking on that side of Main Street. The cars don't see, I mean, there's not enough signage to alert them to
I
stop.
do, who won't-
The look,
It's without, it might be good, like, just to write these up, and
Right.
so we can go take a look at them, because
Yeah.
it's tough for me to visualize them without seeing them.
Okay, yeah, I've sent them to,
I'll send it to circulate stuff.
And probably talk to Jonathan too, since wouldn't they be the ones in charge of doing those?
Yeah,
check-
definitely.
Yeah.
But let's look at, let's, because
Let's
it's
get it
tough to
first.
visualize it.
I'll make a list of things.
Yeah,
of-
I'd like to-
I'm-
Look, she's got a-
I'm const-
she's
I'm
got a-
constantly getting-
I feel like we gotta do a Joe walking tour, so he can point out
Okay.
all the spots.
Mr. Steps.
Yes.
Exactly, I'll sell tickets, by the way. And the last.
Joey, it used to be Joey G's.
Joey G, yeah, now it's Joey C's.
Model tour.
And the last thing, Andy, is there a policy with regard to the placement
Is Andy still there?
of the poop,
The pool.
Yes.
The
Oh, there's more being
No,
cleaned.
there,
no, the poop.
Where, with the, with
The bags,
The
The bag.
the bags and
also
the garbage, right.
Is there a policy? Because I've had
no,
people
we
come to
talked
me.
about this. I remember us passing a
Yeah.
resolution on this last year.
Because it's
Been a problem,
That said what?
yeah.
That said what? What was the resolution?
Well, I think we were talking more about like
Enforcing
buying.
it,
Yeah.
I'm talking about
He's talking about that he wants more of the places where you pick up the baggies.
Yes, okay.
More where you can deposit the baggies.
Like people on Front and Sixth Avenue.
And third corner, Third and Broadway.
Whatever, you know, I mean, we have, or is it just randomly their place? I mean,
I didn't decide any of those locations as long before I got here, so I don't know what logic lies behind it.
okay.
Okay, that was my
I
next
truly don't think
question.
any logic lies behind it, I'll be really honest.
Canine logic, I think.
Canine logic.
Things, probably is a logic, which is that people ask for them in certain places, and that's what the village board would do. So what I think we need to do is sort of map out where they are
Okay,
and
Yeah.
decide if we're happy with that system or not.
okay, so the
Well,
barking
Matt-
dog gets the barking dog gets the,
Bargain with, well, where there are dogs, we put the things.
And there's more.
The problem, the other problem is people go and they grab all the bags out of it, which is like,
Yeah,
that's so
it's-
frustrating.
Right.
It's a convenience, the bags, it's absolutely dog owner's responsibility to have bags.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just gonna run out and
Yeah,
you're in trouble, whatever, but.
Yeah.
well, just put the trash receptacles. That's, I think, the key point, not just the bags are one thing, but people are complaining that they're finding the bags all over the
Yeah.
yards, you know, they just throw them.
There's no
There's
verbiage near
a set place on every corner that they could bring the bag, that would help a lot.
You're right.
There's a lot of dogs, there's a lot
Because
of.
there's a wall, my wall, I always find a bag there.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
All right.
Right now, because the snow melted, there's a lot of stuff that was buried. that's getting revealed now.
Yeah. I've had-
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Anything, where are we on? We're on your report still, Andy?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, just quickly, the HVAC bid award, you're getting bids for the HVAC system?
Oh, wait, no village clerk report?
Linda told me in advance that she was gonna keep quiet today.
Something tonight, though.
She said if we got to the village clerk report and it was after 8:30 to not go to it.
Yeah, I do want to thank you, the mayor, and the village board for December 26th on behalf of all the employees giving us that day off. It was much appreciated.
Yeah, it's
Hope you
not
enjoyed
like a
it.
day.
Oh, it's happening.
Great.
I had the flu, so I didn't enjoy it at all.
I had a flu like 2 days after that.
No,
Anyway,
Um,
HVAC.
HVAC,
So we talked about that, I updated you on HVAC. and then-
Yeah.
Okay, oh, you did both of those, okay. Rat control project?
Yes, what's going on there?
They're hibernating.
So I will say that my focus on that for the last couple of weeks has been pulling together a sort of systematically a database of contacts for all our downtown buildings, which has been an interesting project. And so I'm gonna work, I wanna make it easier for our code enforcement guys to find the people responsible for properties. And when they're following up, and for myself as well, for different purposes. So that's been a focus. That's basically the only update I have at this time.
Okay.
All right, and the tourism grants will, yeah, Monday, and then the parking authority meeting, just to summarize. We did talk about we talked about the loading zone over on Hudson. We also talked about we're gonna be entertaining a resolution at the next meeting to make some changes to the parking rules for Highland Avenue, otherwise known as Route 9W, between Sickles and High. That there's an issue involving the width of the road for snowplows when the Department of Transportation does its plowing, because it's a state road. When they plow 9W, there's an issue about the width of the road and the danger that it poses when the plow goes through. We'll talk about that at the next meeting. Otherwise, I don't think we talked about anything significant policy-wise at the parking authority meeting. Did I miss anything? We might be getting a new truck.
Well, there's a couple other items, but
Couple other,
A
yeah.
couple of items, but nothing policy related. Okay. New business. We're not doing that. 10.1 is off the agenda.
Okay.
11.1 Communications Helping Hands is gonna be back in mid to late March, serving about 140 hot meals on takeout once a week. And they set up on Depew Avenue. And then any other comments on that?
Right outside
Does
the
that
senior
need-
center.
A resolution?
No, just the,
Just saying.
Just
It's
they're-
over there.
Yeah, no, I'm.
actually, I guess if they're gonna set up a food truck, they need a resolution to set up a food truck. We have to give them authorization, but we can do it by voice vote.
they
Yeah,
coming back in
have
March.
their permits from the fire inspector for cooking. That's the main thing.
Okay,
cool.
all right, so we're okay with that.
Yeah.
We'll entertain public comments on any issue at this point. Seeing no public comment, do we have any executive session?
No, you got it a little while.
We got a non-executive executive session. We pushed him too far. And he gave us some legal advice that he didn't want to give.
It's very slick, yeah.
All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Oh, a motion to adjourn. We want to adjourn in the memory of Frank Mancione, and also in the memory of
Renee Good.
Renee Good, the woman that was killed in Minnesota.
Yes.
Rest in peace to both of them. May I adjourn in their honor.
Yes.
Motion.
Oh, I
Motion?
said motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned.
Each.